If you're new to Germany or you're thinking about moving to Germany, well, congratulations first off. For those of us that have never lived in another country other than our birthplace, it would seem simple and easy just to make the transition over. And it could be, unless you skip or underestimate this one important step. If you're new around here and you like seeing my American and Germany experiences, consider subscribing. Make it easier by activating the bell notifications for more exciting weekly uploads. First thing to do after arriving in Germany. What the? What's up everybody, Christopher here back with another video. Let's talk about the first thing you should do upon arriving to Germany. And to preface this very important step, let me just say that there are some important things that you'll probably do prior to this step. This just happens to be one of great urgency in my opinion, and something that absolutely should not be neglected or it can cause you major problems later. So what am I talking about? What is so urgent that it can't wait until after you attend your first German festival? Well, I'm talking about the Anmeldung. The Anmeldung, or registration, is an important prerequisite for anyone that's looking to relocate or move to Germany. Whether it be to study or work, you must register to secure your stay. So first, to begin this process of securing your long-term stay, you must visit the local Ausländerbehörde, which is the authority office for foreigners, at the Bürgeramt, which is the citizen's office nearest where you plan to live. And this is also a place where you can get other documents and important legal information too. The folks I dealt with when I first got here were extremely helpful and like crazy friendly. I knew I'd made the right decision. So when I did go through this process, I knew that I wanted like zero issues. I wanted to run into zero problems because I was on such a tight time schedule. So after arriving, within about, I want to say 2 to 3 days, I was already at the office to start my process. I was already visiting the facility. Now, of course, this is Germany, so they made me make an appointment, which was no problem because they still got me in within, I want to say 2 to 3 days. So having said that, in most cases, you are required to have this done within 7 to 14 days of your arrival. Now, if that seems short, I mean, given the fact that some of us, like those from the US, get 90 days passport stay, stick around and I'll let you know why that's important later on in the video. Speaking of the US though, depending on your home country, you might be able to start this process prior to leaving as well. Just check with your local German consulate wherever you're living. They'll give you all the information you need. Who knows, it might save you some time. So obviously you're not just gonna get this registration just because you asked for it. There are some physical requirements that you must bring to your appointment when it's time to apply. And you must know that there are no exceptions to these. If you do not have all these things, you will not obtain your Anmeldung. You will not be granted your registration. So what is it that you need? Well, here we go. First, obviously, your passport. If you've made it this far without a passport, you need to share what kind of magic you're using because I don't see why you wouldn't have it at this point. So first, bring your passport. If you have a visa, bring that too, but if you have a visa, this video is probably not for you. So if you have it, bring it. Not necessary though. So remember earlier in the video when I mentioned registering within 7 to 14 days, even if you have a 90 days passport stay, it's because of these next two requirements right here, which are a housing contract stating that you are, whether temporary or longer term, a current resident at the address that's on your documents. So a housing contract along with a confirmation letter from your landlord confirming your residency or you staying at that particular residence, okay? And then the last requirement for married folks is your marriage certificate and your birth certificates of everybody in your family. But let's go back to the housing contract real quick because this is important. Listen carefully. So since the housing contract is one of the requirements for the Anmeldung, that would mean that you must register your house prior to going to apply for your Anmeldung. But to register your housing contract, you need an Anmeldung because the landlord or the property owner just might ask for your verification of you being qualified to stay in the country. And rightly so, right? They don't want to rent out to somebody who's there illegally. Makes sense. But what is it that qualifies you to stay long-term in the country? Your Anmeldung. So essentially, you need the Anmeldung to register your housing contract. But the housing contract is a requirement to get your Anmeldung. Very sneaky, Germany. And unfortunately, there's really no standard or written way around this, at least that I've been able to find. So German viewers, if y'all know how, please put it in the comments so the rest of us are educated. But what seems to be the unwritten process is operating under honor, meaning many landlords and property owners will give you a housing contract prior to you receiving your Anmeldung. The thing is, they are trusting that you are willing to follow through and finish this process. So I'll tell you right now, if you luck up and find somebody that's willing to do this for you, Do not muck it up. You will only hurt your own chances, and that's the quickest way to get sent back home. And as far as the fees for this thing, I've heard that they can range between 30 and 100 euros. Mine happened to be 100 euros, go figure. But after that, you're well on your way to having a legal stay in Germany. So by now, if you do have one of these in your hand, you've probably taken these steps in some way, shape, or form at some point already. Meaning you've prioritized your plans, you've collected all your documents and requirements, found a place to stay, gotten verified, and I think many people can agree that a lot of other stuff comes easy when you do things the right way. Which is why, in my opinion, the Anmeldung is the first thing you should try and get when arriving to Germany. So we all know that the process of transitioning from one country to another can be a daunting task. And I know from experience that Germany is no exception and that even Germans get confused. They told me. My friends over at TubeBuddy know this too, and they want to try and help your transition go smoothly. You need a German bank account? How about health or liability insurance? Even something as minuscule as SIM cards. They can assist you. The link where you can book directly through them is in the description section below. Use my discount code RUSSELL, RUSSELL, and get 10% off your first buddy booked. Yo, why not make your transition just a little bit easier? Focus on me. Focus on me. Focus on me.